There are many of the Mahdi that we talk about in this channel. Today I will mention one of the signs that many people believe is going to tell us exact time when the Mahdi will appear. By the way, if you are someone interested in this topic, Imam Mahdi, Dajjal, Yajuj and Majuj, end of time topic, and you never get bored, then this channel is for you. This video, I will talk to you about something that will happen very, very soon. I believe that will happen in the next few days. Some sign will appear on the horizon. And as I said, many people, they believe this is going to be a precursor, if you like, of the coming of the Mahdi. So we need to be prepared for it. Many people believe that way. Now, when I say a sign will appear in the sky, don't take it in a way that this guy is coming on YouTube telling us the Mahdi is about to appear, but after a few days we don't see the Mahdi. Don't take it that way, because my purpose of this video is not to tell you when the Mahdi will come, but to give you some insight, some information that you have probably never heard before. So let me tell you a few things. As you can see, the sky, this is the sun, and you see a lot of things happening in the sky. We see signs of judgment, many other things, as you can see behind me. So the sign, the moon, the sun, and all of this, the planets, the world itself, the earth itself, these are all signs, and they give you those impressions sometimes every now and then that yet the end of time is near. So what is that sign I want to talk to you about? Before I give you that information, that knowledge, I want to tell you a few things. We know every year we have this lunar eclipse taking place, or solar eclipse. This year it is different. Yes, this year it is not something you have seen in the past. Perhaps this is going to be a big sign. We do not know, Allahu Alam, but I will talk about that in a second. But this time it is going to happen, and the scientists, they are baffled. The scientists, they are very, very curious. They do not know what to make out of it. In fact, they said that this phenomenon and the lunar eclipse will take place 179 times in the next 8 decades, averaging twice per year. In other words, you will see signs in the horizon like you have never seen before. This is what is going to happen according to the scientists. So let me tell you this one, the one that is coming very, very soon, in the next few days, coming very soon. This is the sign. So the longest lunar eclipse of this century, okay, century, do you mean what a century means? Like 100 year, is coming this week, means coming very, very soon. During the early hours of Friday morning, Earth will pass between the sun and the moon, casting a shadow over the latter, means over the moon. Earth and the sun will eclipse the moon. You do not see the sunlight reflecting on the moon. This is what will happen. The moon will look reddish. Why? Because the sunlight, it will be deflected because of the earth, and the reddish part of it will be reflected on the moon. And even though you will not see the moon for a long time, the only thing you see on the sky, on the horizon, when you look for the moon, is something that is red. Okay, and red, the color red in itself, I'm emphasizing, is because it is mentioned many, many times. Again, I will talk to you guys about this in a second, if this is indeed a sign or not. I'll talk to you about that in a second. So the scientists say this is what will happen. The earth and the sun will pass between will pass the moon now, and it will cast a shadow. The eclipse will peak just after 4 a.m. Eastern time, when our planet will hide 97% of the full moon from the sun's light, giving the moon a reddish hue. So again, it will look like something that is reddish. 97% of the full moon will be covered. This is something huge. Not only that, do you know how this lunar eclipse will take place? Do you know how long that will be? It will be the longest, as I said, and it will be 3 hours, 28 minutes and 23 seconds. Like, this is the longest in 1 century. Dear brothers and sisters, is this something Allah Azza wa Jalla is sending a sign to us that the Mahdi, the end of time, is about to come, is about to befall on us? Because see, remember, it did not happen in the last 100 years. Okay, 100 years. Okay, so this is what we are expecting, longer. This duration of 3 hours 28 minutes and 23 seconds, longer than any other eclipse between 2001 and 2100. Okay, so you can imagine 2001 means that was 2001, beginning of the century, up until the end of century. This will never happen again. This will never happen again. This is what the scientists are telling us. So who will see this? A lot of people will not, but people from US, Canada, Mexico, they will see it. Okay, they will see it, but for that they have two options. They have to go outside, take a look at the sky, or they can use their mobile devices or TV to watch live from their home. But this is something so long, over 3 hours, that I don't think people will miss it. Okay, I don't think people will miss it. In other words, it is a clear sign, it is a clear signal, and it is long enough for people not to miss it. Muslim, non-Muslim, doesn't matter. Everyone should know it and should see it. If you're living in India, Pakistan, let's say Bangladesh, you can watch on your TV because you'll not be able to see it from where you are. Okay, but you can watch it on your TV that people are broadcasting from North America. So, dear brothers and sisters, the point here is that there is a hadith that talks about this phenomenon. Okay, there is a hadith that talks about this phenomenon, and this is what I want to talk to you about, because this is very, very important. The simple reason for that is because a lot of people, they believe, as I said in the beginning, that the Mahdi, the coming of the Mahdi, is going to coincide with this lunar eclipse. A lot of people will say, perhaps this week we will see the Mahdi is here. A lot of people will say that, not me, a lot of people. So where this is coming from and what should we believe? As Sunni Muslim, people who strictly follow the Quran and Sunnah, looks like we do not have as much knowledge as these people have who claim these signs are clear. And to be honest with you, these signs are scientifically proven, okay, that they are going to take place, that they are going to happen. So nobody can say, dear brothers and sisters, nobody can say, oh, you are thinking or you are dreaming, something like this. No, we are not dreaming. It is real. It is going to happen. So let me tell you this. And this is why I really wanted to talk to you guys about, because again, there are a lot of misconception, a lot of people who do not understand hadith or who do not read the Quran, they fall into this kind of trap. So let me tell you this, very, very important. So the Mahdi, okay, the Mahdi, it's said in a tradition, in a hadith, according to people, they say this is the hadith, that the Mahdi, one of the signs of the Mahdi is that Mahdi will be that the sun and moon will be eclipsed in the month of Ramadan when he first appears. And the month of Ramadan, the first night of the month of Ramadan, there will be a lunar eclipse, okay, a lunar eclipse. And another day there will be a solar eclipse. So the lunar and solar eclipse will take place in the month of Ramadan, and the Mahdi will appear. Okay, this is what people believe. So when we see this lunar eclipse in the sky every year, somehow we believe, well, look, this is it. Okay, so where is the month of Ramadan? They don't care. Okay, month of Ramadan is not here, doesn't mean that the Mahdi will not come. Look, the eclipse is taking place, so why should we not say that the Mahdi will come this year? So let me tell you this. So this is a hadith that was narrated by Al-Daraqutni. Okay, Al-Daraqutni is a classical scholar. He was a, mashallah, good guy. He reported Sahih hadith and his knowledge was very, very sound. So this hadith of Mahdi, Imam Mahdi, appearing in the month of Ramadan when there will be a lunar eclipse was reported by Al-Daraqutni. But Daraqutni, he reported or collected this hadith in his Sunan. The problem is, this hadith was reported through many chain of narration. The isnad includes a lot of people. Okay, the chain of narration includes a lot of people. How he collected this hadith. So the hadith had been kind of, Hasan, I would say, not authentic, sahih, but it is not even Hasan hadith. Why? Because there is a guy in this isnad, in this chain of narration. His name is Amr ibn Shamr. Okay, his name is Amr ibn Shamr. And this guy, because he is included in this chain of narration, this guy, he ruined the whole thing. Why? Because Amr is actually a Shia. Okay, he's a Shia, Rafidi. Okay, he's a Rafidi. Therefore, this hadith is used many times by the Shia, telling that this is a sign when you see the eclipse of the sign of the Mahdi. Now, don't go anywhere. There are many things that we need to talk about. So, quote, our Mahdi, he said, our Mahdi, Daraqutni, he said in his Sunan, our Mahdi have two signs which have never appeared since the heavens and earth were created. The moon will be eclipsed on the first night of Ramadan, and the sun will be eclipsed halfway through, and this has never happened since Allah created the heavens and earth. End quote. Okay, I'm quoting the hadith from Daraqutni's Sunan directly. This report is completely mawdu', means it's fabricated, and is falsely attributed to Muhammad ibn Ali. Muhammad ibn Ali was a Hanafi, may Allah be pleased with him, radiallahu anh. Dr. Abdul Azim al-Bastawi, he also reported a similar thing in his Sunan. Now, Al-Sulaimani, one of the classical scholars, he talked about Amr. Okay, this guy, remember I talked to you about Amr? Amr used to fabricate a hadith to support the Shia. Can you believe it? He would make things up, like this is a big sin. This is a kufr. He would fabricate hadith and say this is from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For what reason? Because he wanted to please the Shia. Okay, the Shia. Now, we have Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, one of the classical scholars. He said, even himself, he said that this is Da'if hadith and Rafidi, means Shia. This hadith of Imam Mahdi appearing when there is a lunar eclipse, first night of Ramadan, is completely fabricated. There is no place of the hadith. Now, listen to this. In conclusion, that's what I want to say to you. In conclusion, the report is fabricated, mawdu', and the problem is it's not Amr al-Jafi. Amr al-Jafi, he is actually from Kufa. The same Amr that I mentioned to you, who fabricates hadith to please the Shia. Al-Azimabadi said, one of the, again, scholars, in the classical scholars, Amr ibn Shamr from Jabir, both of them are da'if and cannot be quoted as evidence. Means, dear brothers and sisters, this is what I want to tell you today. Every time you hear a hadith, every time you hear someone is claiming something, you will most of the time find that these are actually coming from, for example, the Ismaili, the Ahmadi Qadiani group. The Ahmadi Qadiani group, they refute, believe it or not, this hadith. Instead of saying this hadith, they're lies and fabricated, they actually come up and they refute. They say, no. Mirza Ghulam Qadiani, he already appeared, the Messiah. And so therefore, this sign has already taken place. I mean, these people, the Qadiani, they're also so messed up. But the point is that every time you hear this kind of story, people coming out and saying, oh, the sign of Mahdi has appeared, or this is when the Mahdi will come, their voice will come from the sky. Remember that that story? Some people say a voice will declare or announce that a guy is coming, whatnot. These are all made up stories. These are all fabricated, which we should not take heed at all. So going back to my first point when I talked to you about the solar eclipse, one thing I want to mention to you, very very important, and this is my last point, which is that everything we see in the horizon, this is a sign. Do not take this for granted. Do not say, well, lunar eclipse, solar eclipse, whatever is happening has nothing to do with me. No, it has to do with me a lot actually, because these are signs coming from Allah Azza wa Jal to open our eyes and mind to His religion, to come close to Him and be prepared for Qiyamah. This is something we all have to do, regardless you are Shia, Sunni. I'm talking to the Sunni especially, but if you're Shia, you do not want to become a Sunni, at least prepare yourself for Qiyamah. At least make tawbah, ask for guidance. But this is something very, very important. We should, if you can, if you're living in North America, go outside, take a look at the moon, how it will be eclipsed by both earth and the sun, and then it will inshallah increase your understanding of the creation of Allah and bring you closer to Allah Azza wa Jal. A lot of brothers and sisters, they go on the northern light, they go to see the northern light, where you see all these lights dancing in the horizon. If you have the opportunity, go and see those things, because this will wallahi increase your iman, because this cannot be possible without a power that is the highest, he is the only one who can make this happen. No human being can do what he did and what he is doing and what he will do. So dear brothers and sisters, this is my final point. Make sure you try your best to see this lunar eclipse, because these are really wallahi signs from Allah Azza wa Jal. I have few comments here. Inshallah, I will read those comments and then I will let you go. I have comments from MNH. Assalamu alaikum brother. Wa alaikum assalam MNH. I have some other comments from Muhammad Atif Muniyar, Tabish Syed. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam. Shilu Mia. Assalamu alaikum brother. Shilu. I have Lima. I have Royal to the King. Very very interesting. Thank you, Royal to the King. I believe you are a Christian. If you have any question about Islam, inshallah, you can ask me, or you can ask any Muslim. We should be able to answer you, but you can ask me too. Lima fi soul of propaganda, MNH, Haval, Lion of Allah. That's because you all abandoned the bubble. Thank you guys. Jazakallah khair for tuning in, for joining in this session. Inshallah, I'll see you soon. And Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dawood King, you can brother watch the video I explained, so inshallah you can watch it. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.